Aloha! Hey guys, back again after some really great feedback. Thank you to those who direct message me, email, text, or otherwise, and got a hold of me. I really appreciate it. A lot of love for it, and thank you. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to continue to release these and let you guys into my world, so to speak, and to meet some of these people that I get to interact with a little bit. So we're going to keep going with a young lady named Brittany Marcotte. She is spectacular. Also, like last week, Brittany is a motorcycle rider. She is very, very good at what she does, and she wouldn't be where she is if she wasn't. A little different path than maybe the traditional route, and I think it's really interesting. So there was a couple comments about the length of the video. I just want to preface by saying that while I am no professional in videography, I'm still trying to learn the tricks of the trade and figure it out. If you have suggestions on how I can edit this better, as always, let me know, and I'm going to try to break that up, but thank you to those who stick it out. Like I said, just under an hour. It's a great conversation, and I hope you learn a lot about this young lady. So without further ado, here we go. Aloha, welcome. Today, my guest is Brittany Marcotte, and we're going to sit down and ask you a few questions and go from there. So
let's do it.
How's your day so far?
Good,
Nothing crazy?
No, nothing crazy, just rainy day.
Yeah, sadness. It's always a little bit dreary when it's rainy.
Yeah.
So, right, so to kind of give the viewers and everybody an idea of where it is that you came from and what it is that you do and why that we're even talking in the first place. We'll start at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, where were you born?
I was born in Southern California, Mission Viejo, so right in the middle of kind of LA and San Diego was Orange County area.
Okay, perfect. And then is that where you grew up as well?
Yep, born and raised in sunny SoCal.
Nice. One of my best friends and his girlfriend live in Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
So it's
not far from there.
kind of north a little bit, I think, from that area.
Yep.
But
yeah, I'm like right kind of by the beach, and that's like inland, which now I live closer to there currently, but I was...
To the beach.
Now I live closer to Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
but I was born and raised kind of by the beach,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Very
Awesome.
lucky out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Family?
Yep, all from Southern California, or actually they lived mostly in Southern California. I have, on my dad's side is from Massachusetts, and my mom's side is from Missouri, so.
Oh.
But my parents both were pretty much born and raised in Southern California.
So they commuted west, and then that's where mom and dad were both.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Are they like high school sweethearts, so they know each other? Or?
Just about, yeah. They're both pretty young when they met each other, and my mom had us pretty young also.
Okay.
But like I said, both from Southern California, and good times.
Nice. You said us. How many siblings do you have?
I have a twin sister,
Right.
Brianna, and I have a younger sister, Brooklyn. So all B's.
There's any theme there, or was that on purpose?
I don't know. I kind of like laugh at my parents because it's like, well, you guys chose all B's. So when we're younger, it's kind of like, Brittany, Brianna, Brooklyn, one of you turn around. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. And my dad's name is Brian, and my grandma's name is Barbara. So I don't know why we picked that theme, but yeah, it's kind of funny.
So one more time, Brittany,
Brianna,
which
is my twin sister, and then my younger sister is Brooklyn or Brooke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Family names or just?
I don't know. Just typical '90s blonde girl names.
Trendy
I don't know.
Blonde girl name.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Fair enough. So then, your youngest, so you're twin, obviously,
Yes.
Brianna.
Yep.
And then, does she prefer one name or the other?
Brianna, whatever. Just not Brianna. She hates Brianna.
Oh, okay.
Brie. It's usually Britt and Brie. Growing up, it was always Britt and Brie.
Britt and Brie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just tied at the hip.
Yeah.
Well then, so how much younger is she?
Okay, so Brie we're 5 minutes apart, and I'm older by 5 minutes, which it's still
significant.
It counts.
Yeah.
I'm older.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
And then Brooklyn, our youngest sister, is 7 years younger.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But those are the only three.
Yep.
Only the three siblings.
All girls.
Okay.
The poor dad.
I was gonna say, dad ever itch for? Do you have like a boy dog at least or something?
Yes, all boy dogs.
Nice.
So
okay.
my
Even
dad
it
got
out.
that. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's funny. We were hoping when my mom found out she was pregnant, we were like, oh come on, let's get a boy in the family. And my dad was so excited, and he was like, it's a girl, and we're like, yay. It's okay. We love Brooklyn.
Dad
so it's okay.
shed a tear. And,
Yeah. Sorry,
okay.
Dad.
Fair enough. That's awesome. So then, tell me about your childhood. I mean, obviously with a twin sister,
seemingly the stereotype is that you always have, you know,
Yeah.
someone to play with all the time.
Yeah.
Did you guys get along really well?
Yeah, we very close. Bree and I, we didn't do the same classes in school because our parents wanted us to have that separate, you know, like try to have separate friends and stuff.
Sure,
but
yeah.
we loved the same thing. We both loved video production and of course like riding and playing outside. We had such a fun childhood. We grew up in a neighborhood that had a lot of kids that were our age. And so it was a lot of, you know, get home from school and go outside and play, anything on wheels.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bree and I did a lot of the same thing. We liked a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, we were very close, and we still are today too, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that you bring that up because living in a neighborhood like that, because it's certainly not like that now.
Right, yeah.
Where like growing up, I remember, I'm obviously much older than you, but even still, when you're growing up, the idea that you could leave your bike out front and go and you can play with all the neighborhood kids and stuff like that. You know, you like to hope that, you know, normal America is like that, but I don't know that that's the case
anymore. It's so different now. Even with my little sister, like growing up now with phones and iPads and, you know, TV and stuff, like we didn't really watch TV when my sister Bree and I were younger. You know, like I said, we would know, you know, whoever's bicycle was, like all the bicycles and scooters would be at, you know, one of our friends' house, and we would know everyone was there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's like watching my little sister grow up. It's kind of like, oh, get off your phone, like go outside. Like, why don't you love to go outside like we did?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I feel really fortunate that we grew up in that era because it really makes you who you are today. You know, just having that excitement to go outside. Like I kind of wish that this generation would have more of that, you know, excitement to go and play and do active stuff.
Do you think that that's a reflection of just the inexperience of actually going out and having a good time and explaining, or do you think like the idea that it's just not appealing because you can, in theory, on your iPad, your phone, computer, whatever, you can kind of go anywhere?
Yeah, right.
You're not limited to just your front yard or your buddy's backyard or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of sad just because I remember, you know, growing up, it was so much fun to go outside, and that's what you look forward to. Even at school, you just like to try and do your homework as fast as you can. You go home, you do your chores just so you can get outside and play. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, just this new generation of technology and stuff that kids are just so drawn to playing games and stuff on their iPads or, I don't know, whatever's on TV these days. It's like the, I guess just the lack of motivation, or I don't know what it is, to go outside and play. It's just really gone. Yeah. It's really decreased, I guess. It's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like, oh man, they have such the advantage. Like my son Kai can research and look up anything and kind of be transported anywhere in the world or beyond, for that matter, as he learns about space and different planets and solar systems and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, what the advantage, right? But at the same time, like, he's very quick to go and catch frogs in the river, whatever as well. So you got to find that happy medium, I suppose, but not everyone is so fortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
Although living in Southern California helps to have the
year-round
ability to be able to do
Our
that.
winter is like maybe a month, and it doesn't even count. You'd still go outside.
Yeah.
At least we still would.
So having traveled so much now, do you find that you're still susceptible to like, I think the 50-degree weather is really quite cold to you, or have you kind of, do you acclimatize kind of wherever you go?
Being on tour and having true winters, unlike in California. I still don't know if I'm used to when it gets really cold and the snowy part. I feel like I just hate it even more because I'm not used to it. But I will say now that if it does hit like 50 outside, it's like, oh, okay, this is nice. Like I can appreciate it more. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Although I bring that up because I think the rationale for a lot of people, at least for me, would be if it's cold outside, like of course I don't want to go out and play. You know, but then, you know, living somewhere warm, I think that's the tendency, and then the idea like, oh well, you could put on some snow pants and go play in the snow and go sledding, because I'm sure people that live in the, you know, northern climates, and as I talk to other people, you know, that's probably, I think that's the consensus, is like you kind of get used to where you live, right? Yeah,
well, that's why I say I especially when you get older and you do travel and you realize how lucky you are, you know, being able to grow up on the West Coast.
Sure.
That you can go outside and play every single day, and even if it is kind of rainy outside, which California, it's you know, sprinkle if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, very lucky. I don't I can't imagine living anywhere else as a child because maybe I would like to go outside and play if I were used to it being really cold. You know, I probably would because I was very active when I was little.
Right.
But yeah, that might change it a little bit if it was really cold out. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah. For sure.
It would be harder, but a lot more work, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm curious, because I ask people a lot. Do you remember your earliest childhood memory? Like, what's your earliest childhood memory?
That's a good one. Maybe. So when we were first born, my family lived in a condo, and I guess it's kind of silly, but I just have this brief memory of my sister and I playing like on the stairs, and one of the stairs, like the part of the carpet was coming out, and we would always play with the flap of it, and I don't know what happened, like if my sister was like moving it and like making it talk or something. This might be kind of creepy, but like I always remember like on the stairs just thinking it was so cool to like play with this flap in the stairs. I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know, that I just always remember that, like running around on the carpet and
Mom and Dad didn't shout at you for like ripping up the carpet or whatever?
I do have a funny story actually, which I don't really remember this happening, but my sister and I were, had our hands like this and we're swinging around.
Sure.
And we had this glass table, probably kind of like this, glass square table. And I remember, a tiny bit, like she let go of me and I flew into the glass table and I like cut my eye open. And my dad was upstairs and I remember just freaking out because Mom wasn't home. So, that's scary when Mom's not home and Dad has to take care of.
Who's going to solve the problem?
Right, the child on the floor just like bleeding out. I think I got like a little butterfly stitch, so it's not.
So you don't have some like gnarly scar or anything?
No, unfortunately, but but yeah, I like remember that a little bit, but yeah. I've never thought about that actually. It's pretty good.
All right, fair enough. So, born and raised, what high school did you go to?
I went to Tesoro High School. That was literally could walk to it from my house.
Oh, nice.
Yep, all the schools I went to.
Lunch and
yeah, exactly. Nice. Yes, like I said, very lucky where I grew up. In my elementary school too, like less than a mile away.
Nice. Mom, Dad walk you to school as well?
Yeah. We would carpool, so we would just, pick up all the kids and go.
No bike riding or anything like that to school?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't, which I'm kind of surprised, but.
Yeah, I mean, growing up with bikes and wheels underneath you,
scooters,
right?
Electric scooters, everything. Yeah, we just drive and drop us off, and
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy school?
No.
That's always the question.
I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I wasn't bad at school,
okay.
And I was just a very average student, I will say, but hated homework. I feel like I hated homework because the quicker I can get my homework done, the sooner I can go outside.
Okay, so that was impeding you from actually playing, so negative association.
Right, so like the more, like the teacher would be like, okay, we're going to do this tonight for homework and this, and it was kind of just like, okay, let's see how fast I can get that done, so, yeah, but I actually started homeschooling in 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Because of the traveling I was doing for racing and stuff. So, so once we started doing that, it was actually, it wasn't easier, but it kind of changed how we did schooling, obviously. So that kind of made it a little bit more tolerable, I would say.
Was that a mom and dad tag teaming kind of teaching thing, or?
Yeah, I was actually surprised because I never really thought about doing homeschooling and never like begged my parents to do it or anything. They just kind of like brought it up because, like I said, our traveling was pretty rigorous, and so I was like, well, yeah, of course I'll try it. So my mom, it was actually through a program, so it wasn't just my mom teaching us. We kind of followed like guidelines that our school actually provided. So it was still like very structured and stuff. And so, it was good.
I think that's the misconception a lot of times is like, oh, you're homeschooling, you just create your own curriculum and your mom or dad teaches you whatever they feel like, you know. But there's actually structured organizations and programs to kind of help guide you through that. Because your diploma is just as valid as anyone else that went to a public or private high school as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I did that through high school too. And actually, once we got to high school, we would see one teacher once a week, and that's when we would give her our homework and take our tests and stuff. So we technically only had to go to school once a week, but it was cool because we were still a part of the high school, so we can take one class on campus, 1 or 2 if we wanted.
Sure.
So you can still be a part of like the dances or the football games or like whatever. So.
Did you partake in those as well?
Some of them. We were so focused on riding and just like going that sometimes school was just kind of like, there's a dance coming up, but there's also like a race that weekend. So her focus was very just towards riding and racing. So
you'd sneak in a dance when you could.
It's like, oh, winter formal's there, and that's that's easy. We'll just do that just to say we did it. But like I actually never went to my senior prom or anything. Okay. So, which my mom was a little sad about, but
sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry, Mom.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's okay.
Little sister, did she make it to her senior prom?
Yep. Okay.
She can live vicariously through
exactly.
her.
Yeah, which she probably is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Good job, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So then, if you only saw one teacher, because my other question was going to be, I'm always curious if you had a particularly influential teacher in your life, but I don't know how much interaction you really had then. Yeah, we did. The one class that both my sister Bree and I did together was video production, because we loved filming and making movies and videos, and of course filming like riding and making all the fun little stuff. Right. And his name was Mr. Hallam, and we actually had him for we did 3 years with him, and that would be the one class we would go to, and he always made it really fun. And he would, he, of course, being in California, we were kind of somewhat close to like LA area, so he got to go to a lot of the awards shows like the Oscars and stuff like that. So he would tell us all these cool stories. That's awesome. And so anyways, I feel like he was, we actually looked forward to going to his class. For sure. It was pretty cool. Is he still there, do you know? I'm not sure actually. I think that we went to visit him actually like a couple years ago. Okay. Probably maybe 4, maybe 5 years ago now. Ish. And he was there, so he might be, yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's always interesting to see the attrition of those teachers, and especially the really good ones, right? Maybe they get stolen away to different schools and better offers or whatever. Right, and of course he's the teacher that like everybody loved, Mr. Hallam. So, he was the popular, he's the cool, funny teacher, that was super laid back, but he was great. Yeah. So that class in particular, you probably did quite well because you actually cared and were invested in it. Yeah, definitely. I remember being really interested in directing, and so we would do a big, like every year we do a big class film, and we would have the other like classes that did like writing. They would practice like the English classes kind of, but kids who wanted to do more like screenwriting and stuff like that, so we would get them involved, and we would have people from drama, and we'd be cast the actors and stuff. So it's kind of this big school production, and I got elected to like be the director for it. Nice. And it was really cool. I think after that though, I was kind of like, maybe directing is like not where I want to go exactly. But at the time I was like, oh yes, like I want to direct it and like try it. But so that was definitely one of the highlights of being in that class, and learning about like video production and how everything works. And of course he had like all the cool equipment, like a big crane that you could put the camera on and all the fancy stuff. So it was really fun. Learned a lot for sure. For sure. Dang. And it's funny now what I'm doing, because I would have never thought that would be, kind of the person in front of the camera necessarily, whether it's doing stunts or riding or the stuff, Absolutely. So it's cool. It's kind of come full circle and something that I do enjoy. So. That's awesome. Yeah. Which actually is a nice segue, because I was curious, everyone growing up has their idea like, oh, this is what I want to be when I grew up. Yeah. Is anything, what did you imagine you would be when you were growing up? What was your response to that question? Something in film, but like I said, like more behind the camera. Like I really love to film. And it's funny because my sister Bree's really good at editing. She's really great at filming and photography too, but we kind of had a fun team between her and I of like, I'd film and she would go home and just edit stuff. And I always thought like that'd be a really fun job to pursue. And where I'm at now is kind of cool, because I never imagined being where I'm at now necessarily. I never dreamt of being like, doing stunts for a living. Like that never even crossed my mind at all. But it marries like, my writing background and skill to, kind of the video production side of it too. So it's kind of a combination of both, what I get to do. So I'm definitely in a position now where I've kind of exceeded my expectation of where I would probably be at right now. Yeah, that's a positive reflection. Yeah, exactly. Let alone to get paid to even ride motorcycles and stuff. So so it's pretty cool where my life has kind of taken me, for sure. That's perfect. Yeah. So then, for the viewer who isn't familiar, if you had to explain to someone, like, what do you do for a living, what would you tell them? Because it's not so straightforward, right?
Right,
I mean,
yeah. I'm sure a lot of people do wonder, like, well, what are you talking about?
What in the world, yeah.
Or as my friends like to call it, LARPing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extreme LARPing.
Extreme, yeah.
For us riders.
That's appropriate.
So I get to ride motorcycles for a living. I'm currently on tour where I get to dress up as a character and ride around doing motorcycle stunts in an arena. I guess doing live action stunt show. So technically getting to use my riding abilities to be in front of the camera and do cool stunts and stuff that you never really think of until you're doing it and you're like, oh, I was kind of made to do this kind of stuff. Like you think it's just for fun at first, and
right.
So yeah, which once tour is done too, I'd like to really pursue doing stunts in California and LA and see where that takes me. So.
For sure. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then, now that you've kind of had a taste for a couple years now, what attracted you first to do something like that? I mean, it's not, obviously it wasn't even on your radar, so what was so appealing that made you say, sure, I'll give it a shot?
Definitely getting to ride a motorcycle but get paid to do it.
Fair enough.
Because I have to say, you go through a lot of years when you're racing competitively at a professional level where, you kind of get by a little bit, but especially for female riders, you can't make a living at it. It's just too small of a sport and industry for us. So the opportunity to do Marvel Universe Live was actually through racing at X Games. You kind of just meet people and you meet this other person and they kind of like, oh, have you ever thought about stunts? And which I actually haven't. I never really thought about doing stunts, which is kind of silly because I'm in the motorcycle riding industry, which is like, extreme action sports. So yeah, kind of just.
Hindsight's 2020, right? You look back and.
Oh yeah, I look back and I'm like, oh my god, it's like everything I've done kind of like led me up to doing this and hopefully like trying to be good at it,
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
So then, was there a point along this journey that you thought like, this is what I want to do? Like, how did you know? Like, what was it? Did you have a particular experience, or was there any like aha moment, like, this is what I want to do?
Probably shortly after I joined tour. The tour life was definitely an adjustment to living on the road and stuff. But actually, what I did for work here, on the stage, just learning choreo or learning different motorcycle stunts, kind of like crashing the motorcycle, like what we have to do in the show.
Yeah, on purpose.
Crashing on purpose.
Sure,
yeah. Kind of like learning all that stuff. It was like everything I grew up learning, to do riding and racing. It's like really set me up pretty well to be able to do these stunts like confidently.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think like shortly once I joined this tour, it was kind of like, oh, I didn't even know that could be kind of like a career, or at least try to make it a career. And there's definitely, which I'm learning more and more now, that there's a huge need for women motorcycle riders, especially in the stunt industry. So once I kind of was like, okay, I really want to try that. A lot of opportunities have been opening up that kind of showed me that like, oh, I can do this, for a career, especially once tour's done. So once I joined tour, it really opened my eyes to like this whole new world
like, this
of
is
stunts
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, along with that, there comes a lot of expectation and certainly some, I think, maybe misconceptions. What do you think the biggest myth is about what it is that you do?
The biggest myth?
Where you're like, yeah, that's actually not true. That's not what I do at all.
Well, the only thing that's coming to mind is I think that maybe more with stunts in general, this might not exactly answer your question, but I think a lot of people maybe watching movies and stuff, if they do see a motorcycle stunt, which I kind of thought too, I was like, oh, they probably just use a guy to do that. So that might be the biggest myth, is that there are actually girls that are out there that actually can do the stunts, the same stunts that guys can do also. I know there's definitely not many women out there, especially if you're comparing it to like how many guys out there that can do that stuff. But I definitely think it's cool that, especially this job gives us the opportunity to show that girls can do what the guys can do.
Right.
So again, that's kind of the only myth that I really can think of that maybe people are kind of
girls can't do this, but it turns out
right,
they
yeah,
can.
but it's like, well, you can, and there are girls that can do it, you know, and do it just as well as the guys. So
right,
yeah.
Well, you mentioned the X Games, right, which is obviously a big deal. Do you remember that call, or do you remember finding out that you had qualified or made it?
Yeah, it was really hard. X Games was one of the biggest. It was the biggest highlight of my career, but it was also the most challenging. And it was the last year that they had it in LA at the Staples Center, which was 2011 or 2012. Can't remember. I think 2011.
Okay.
But anyways, my career professionally was like, kind of the race. Like they stopped putting on a lot of professional races for women for motocross that I was doing. So it's kind of like our industry was kind of dying off a little bit, sadly. So it's kind of like, oh man, what am I going to do now? And I had seen X Games. They've had women in X Games for, you know, since, I can't remember, 2007 or 2008 was when they first debuted like a women's supercross class in X Games. And I remember watching that on TV with my dad actually. And I remember just watching it, and my dad looked over and he was like, you could do that. And I just remember thinking like, you know what, I can do that. It's like ever since then, I was like, my goal is to do X Games. And so, of course, there's certain steps you have to do, you know, before you can go to X Games, and you actually have to be invited. So for that particular event, which is called Women's Moto X, you have to, they invite 12 girls in the whole world. And pretty much to get invited, you have to show that you can jump the certain obstacles that are on the track, and you can ride that sort of track. And you have to jump like a 65 to 75 foot ramp, metal ramp to dirt, which not a lot of girls can do because it's scary. Very scary.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to, you have to send in video and stuff and kind of show that you can. So in 2010, I submitted my videos and stuff, and you also have to be, you know, at least 18, and you have to be professional for so many years. So anyway, so I did that, and it was actually kind of weird at first. Like I got invited, or they said they were going to invite me, and then they were going to actually take like only 11 riders, so I ended up getting cut, and then it was kind of like a mess. It was a little stressful at first, and then they were finally like, no, you're invited. You're like the 12th person or whatever. So I was super excited.
Sure.
You get like an official invite, and you know, like as an X Game athlete, and that was like my biggest goal. So getting invited was like a win for me.
Like an actual thing in the mail, like hard copy.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
invite.
And your email too.
Yeah.
Since everything's like technology
all
these
digital
days,
now.
all digital.
Yeah, I'm envisioning this like, you know, welcome box or
Golden
whatever. Right?
envelope.
Yeah, exactly. The golden ticket.
Yeah. So that was cool. I remember just like calling my parents and telling them, and we were like
so you
super
weren't home.
excited. No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Well, I was actually working. I was at work, and then one of them called me and told me, and then I was like, oh my god, it's so crazy. Okay. So yeah, it was cool. It was it's definitely a highlight for sure.
Man.
Yeah.
So then you said you were working. Well, obviously you kind of alluded to that, in that you can't necessarily make a living, or at least you couldn't anyway.
Right.
Just riding the races that you were racing.
Yeah.
What other job did you have?
Well, I've had a few different jobs. I worked in like retail, worked at a restaurant for a hot second. I ended up working at a dirt bike track in California.
That makes sense.
Yeah, working the front, running around, kind of managing like certain things at this dirt bike track.
Okay.
And one of those jobs where it's just like you get paid under the table, but like also getting paid but it helped because I can ride for free at that track, because going to a certain motorcycle track, you know, it costs like a lot of money. I mean, it costs like $30 just to ride for the day, not including
just entrance.
Just entrance fees.
Okay.
So yeah, I was kind of just doing that, just, you know, getting by pretty much.
Sure. Is that where you were when you got the call?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was exciting, and everyone there too was like super pumped that the you know, moto rider at the front, she's going to X Games.
Oh yeah, he's freaking out, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Man.
So it was really cool.
That's probably far more understanding of the employer than, you know, if you're working at a restaurant or something.
Yeah,
I gotta take this call,
like,
right? My tables can wait or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. That's funny. So then, as always seems to be the case, everybody has you know, nicknames and stuff like that. Did you ever have a nickname?
Yeah, not many non-moto riders might understand it, but I was called Brake Tap Brittany.
Okay. So then the follow-up question is, how do you get that, right?
Yeah, okay. So when you jump a motorcycle,
okay,
if you hit the rear brake, it brings you down. So when you're jumping in the air, it kind of, because it stops your rear tire from moving, so it'll bring the front end of your motorcycle down. And vice versa, if you're in the air and you're like this with your motorcycle and you give it gas, it spins the rear tire quicker, so it kind of brings you up. So anyways, I just started this weird habit of every time I would jump, I would hit my rear brake, which is called like brake tapping, and I would come down. So it's kind of like my style a little bit.
Okay.
And each rider kind of has like their own style. And so I don't even know who gave this to me, but people just started calling me Brake Tap Brittany. So that's probably what my most popular nickname would be, I think.
Falls right in line with all the B's.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's funny. But you also said like that's not necessarily a bad thing in the sense that like
no. It's just kind of like your style, so I guess there could be worse nicknames.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely worse, for sure. So in addition to that, I mean, we talk about all kinds of nicknames. In my experience, I know my mother or father always have, random nicknames. My name being Jay. My mom's one of like 2 or 3 people on the whole planet that call me Jaybird, right? But I'm curious as well, in addition, if I was to talk to mom or dad, and this is, I guess, just not to put you on the spot, but if we called up mom right now, I'd be like, hey, tell me a story that you think would be embarrassing for you to hear. Because I know my mom has like a whole slew of stories, like,
and
right?
that's like the parents' goal is to embarrass their children. Like they are so proud of that. Okay, I'm trying. That's usually it usually involves my sister Bree and I, because we're just together all the time.
Right. Yeah.
At the time, it wasn't funny because my mom was like really upset about it. But my sister and I were fighting over a basketball in the backyard, which we didn't even play basketball, so I don't know why we were fighting over this. And so of course it turned into like, the ultimate sister fight where it's just pulling hair and like shoving each other on the ground. And my mom thought it was hilarious. Well, she was mad, and then she thought it was funny because we kept fighting. So she like goes in to get the video camera and was like gonna film it. And so we're just like fighting. Like I don't even know how long it lasted. To me, it felt like forever. We were just going at it and over like a basketball. I don't even know exactly what started it. So my mom's filming it, and then finally, she like breaks it up, and we sit down and we're just like staring at each other. And this is how my sister and I would fight. It would be like World War III, like we hate each other, and then we would just sit in silence, and then it'd be like, do you want to go outside? And then we'd be like, fine.
Good.
We'd be fine. And my mom would be like, what are you, like, this is the craziest thing. You guys hated each other for like, like 10 minutes outside, like beating each other up, and now you're fine. And we're just like, yeah, we're over it.
Good.
And then we
Fair
just
enough.
go. Yeah.
Get out.
I'm pretty sure we still got in trouble because we were just, I just remember being grounded after that for some reason. It turned into like, it was a bad fight. But
no damage to the house or anything, though?
No, we weren't too crazy as far as, we didn't really punch walls or anything.
Breaking lamps and...
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
If there were boys involved, like if, my dad always wanted a boy for, to have a son, but I feel like it's probably a good thing that they didn't.
Yeah, well, with your active genes.
It
could have ended really badly.
Yeah, that's the only, I guess that's the only kind of embarrassed. I mean, I'm embarrassed that we fought over a basketball. It wasn't anything cool either.
Yeah, well, it's non-traditional.
Yeah.
Or that's the traditional side of it.
Right. Yeah.
Man.
So I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
So growing up, I mean, you have 2 siblings. You have a fair size, I'd say, average size family.
Yeah.
Did it ever strike you to want kids of your own?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we had so many memories as a family because racing and riding dirt bikes, it's very much a family affair.
Sure. You guys are all in, right?
Yeah. Like going to the races, it's always a far drive. We had a motorhome. We had a trailer. A lot of the nationals, you'd be gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, stuffed in the motorhome with the dog, all the siblings, mom and dad for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So I always think, it'd be fun to have kids and have that same experience with, your own kids and kind of like teach them the stuff that you've learned, when you go on camping trips and all the things that you learn from that. So I definitely think about that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say you had a non-traditional childhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess in addition to that, as you're traveling around, you're doing all these things. I only assume your little sister Brooke would have gotten involved in this, but she's not, right?
We tried to get her to ride a little bit, but she's almost like she's also competitive. I think she got that competitive gene too, but she doesn't like it. I think she gets too nervous and too stressed out from it. Whereas like my sister Bree and I could kind of handle it and we kind of channel that. But Brooklyn, you know, if she would get, you know, if she wasn't winning we kind of made her do a race too. So sorry, Brooklyn. We're like, you're racing too. Yeah, like right into it.
Wow.
And you know, she would just start crying because she didn't think she did good, and she kind of just didn't like it. She didn't latch on. So but she's actually really good in school. So again, I'm sure my parents were happy about that. So no, she got the smart gene for sure. So so she got that going for her. Yeah.
Nice. So then, in addition, like I guess the idea, it's not so much resentment, because I mean, if you get your younger sibling, you get dragged around to your big sister's races all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
It'd be really easy to just resent the sport entirely, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. I again feel lucky that Brooklyn was so supportive, and two, like I said, motocross is such a family affair, but it's kind of everyone in the sport. It's kind of like one big family. Like you would go to nationals all over the country, and it would be a lot of the same families that would go also. So you develop a lot of relationships that you look forward to seeing, like, you know, the other family or, you know, the other kids. So Brooklyn made a lot of friends too that were her age that, you know, also are kind of in the same position where they're like, well, my older brother or sister are here, so it's like, you know, I'm just kind of dragged along here too.
Ride, yeah.
So, but she was such a good sport about it. Like, I feel like, you know, we always try to make it fun, and sometimes we would travel to, like, you know, we'd have to go to Tennessee for a weekend or two, and we would kind of do fun things along the way there. So we try to just incorporate it as being like a big vacation, so everyone would kind of fun, you know, do something fun for her too.
Yeah, kudos to your parents for making that happen. They very easily could have just been in the zone, let's get there, whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
for
awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. So then she was obviously quite young, because you started riding it, I mean, competitively. How old were you?
Started riding at 11, which is a little bit later than most kids, but and then competitively at 13.
Okay.
And so then we probably didn't start traveling nationally until let's say we were like, I guess a year later, 14, 15.
Okay.
So yeah, so Brooklyn was pretty young. She
9,
was,
10.
Yeah,
right
7 or 8 when we
the
first
very
started
beginning.
doing it. Yeah. So yeah, but now that I think about it, she never complained ever. She was always so like ready to, you know, go, and I think we all just really accepted the camping, you know, and kind of just made it like a fun thing. So so it was good. We had a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, I mean, growing up like that as well, like, you presume at some point she just assumes that's normal, right? So.
Right, exactly. And being on the road all the time, and you know, I always remember her always having a good time when we were at the track, because there's always fun things to do, especially when she would go home and like tell her friends what we would do.
Oh yeah.
You know, she was always like so proud of it. So I feel like so lucky that she was, you know, had fun while we were going too.
Yeah, well, you provided an opportunity for her to see probably a lot of the country that most 7 and 8-year-olds probably don't get that chance.
Right, exactly.
You know? So that's cool.
Definitely.
Good job, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
So 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Yep.
If you had to go back in time and rewind your brain, walk me through like a perfect day as a 10-year-old.
Ooh.
In Southern California.
All right, for me, as a 10-year-old, well, we'll start with this. It's already a perfect 75 degrees and sunny outside.
Nice.
School would not be, it wouldn't, I wouldn't have school in like
summer
a perfect
vacation.
day. This is the middle of summer.
Yeah, perfect.
Definitely, as a 10-year-old, it wasn't quite riding yet, but we'll just say a day at home. Definitely just like waking up whenever I wanted. I loved waffles when I was little, so I'd definitely go downstairs and make waffles.
Wait, not anymore though?
No.
Okay,
I was kind of like
enough.
a skinny fat girl when I was little. I have to say.
That's
like,
awesome.
Just sugary treats, which I blame like my grandparents for too, because they're just like ice cream. I mean, that's grandparents thing. So
sorry, waffles for breakfast.
Waffles for breakfast for sure. And then like go straight to playing outside, because there's nothing better than, you know, like a summer morning going outside and all your friends are there.
100%.
We had scooters. We had electric scooters, which were like the big thing back when I was like 9, 10, 11. Bicycling, we had like a park that wasn't too far, but it was like I think around when I was 10 or 11, we were allowed to like go on our own to this park, you know, like with our group of friends. So that'd be super fun. And then we also had a pool growing up in our backyard. So it usually turned into like, you know, in the morning you're kind of outside playing, you're getting hot and sweaty, and then you just like move the fun to the backyard.
Yeah.
And then Dad would barbecue. So it'd just be like that, which was usually almost every day in the summer would be that. And then once we started riding, it was a whole different story because we'd be going to the track and then coming home and swimming and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say it ended up outside in the front yard playing, and then by the evening it was like pool time, barbecue, and then maybe we had a slushy machine, one of those little like ices.
Yeah.
So that was, once we had that, it was
Mom
like,
and Dad crushed this game.
yeah,
right?
literally with the icy machine.
Yeah, it's the little things.
Yeah.
Well, not so little actually, but no, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I had a fun childhood. That would be a fun summer day for a 10-year-old Brittany.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Conversely, fast forward to now.
Okay.
Walk me through your perfect day now.
All right, now it'd be wake up 7:30 to an alarm clock, because now I need structure.
Adulting.
Adult Brittany needs structure.
Yeah.
Definitely work out. I feel like when you're younger, you kind of like have to work out, especially for like riding. It was kind of like you have to work out. You're kind of forced to do it. But now I've really grown to love to work out. Like it's like a hobby. Maybe like a little too obsessive. Work out. Definitely ride somewhere. And I would be in California right now too, of course.
Nice.
Riding, come home, probably barbecue and maybe jump in the pool.
Nice.
For sure. But yeah, just like pretty simple. Definitely something riding, either riding a dirt bike or maybe mountain biking.
Okay.
Something active where I feel, like I really depleted my body for the day.
After the workout, depleted again.
Right, almost dehydrated.
Yeah.
Feel like I really, really worked.
Nice.
Yeah, it might be kind of extreme for some people, but yeah, anything on two wheels in the hot sun it's a pretty good day for me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So one of the questions I had, particularly that I want to address for pretty much everyone that I'll always ask is, tell me about someone, a person, or an organization that you particularly admire.
Well, there's a lot of female motorcycle riders that I admire, that kind of push the boundaries for women in the industry that I'm in. Specifically in the stunt industry, I'd say Debbie Evans. She grew up riding motorcycles, similar to my background, and she kind of made it possible for women to do motorcycle stunts or even like car driving stunts possible instead of having a guy do it.
Right.
And so she kind of like created this industry for us to like kind of have a career in.
Sure.
So I feel like the more that I get to know who she is and what her history was and stuff, it makes me more appreciative of her. And like I said, she's pretty much opened the door for all of us to have jobs in this stunt industry, especially riding a motorcycle. It's like what we get, it's our passion. Now we can kind of make it, a way that we can make a living. So I definitely look up to her for, kind of putting her foot down and being like, no, like female riders are out there and they can do these stunts and, not always have a guy put a wig on and be like, oh, we'll just have a guy do it.
Pretend that he's a female.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think, Debbie Evans is probably somebody I really look up to.
Shout out to Debbie.
Yeah.
This is an ignorant question, but presumably she's still alive and actively working, or is she kind of retired from the game?
Yeah, she actually, I don't know exactly how old she is, but she's older now. And
won't tell her age,
she also lives in California, and she, her and her husband, and she's older, and I don't even know how old she is. But anyways, she does still work a little bit. But she's also like, when we talk to her, she's kind of like, oh, need somebody to like kind of take my position,
take
sort
the
of.
reins,
Or like somebody kind of help keep this going. So because there is kind of it is a small industry.
Sure.
That it would be easy to be like, oh, there's not really many girls right now, so we'll just kind of go back to using guys. So, it's kind of where we want to go.
For
Hopefully, follow her path.
Carry it on. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I only have a few more questions, so bear with me.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Being around so many diverse people, right? The nature of our job and our career and what we're doing is traveling around, and we're surrounded by all kinds of different diversity. you're often exposed to different ways of thinking and different hobbies and things like that. Tell me the latest thing that you've really found yourself like geeking out about.
Well, okay, I have to say, back to the workout thing.
Yes.
You probably knew I was going to say this. Our one friend on tour, Taylor, got us into CrossFit, which she's a gymnast, and that's like her part in the show also is just doing all of her gymnast stuff. And I come from a background that is completely opposite from any sort of being flexible or anything like being upside down or anything on my hands. But she definitely opened us up to this world of being, doing CrossFit and working out, but also like, for example, maybe learning how to do a kip up. She really pushed us into learning these different things alongside like, encouraging us to practice more stunt stuff like high falls and stuff like that, which I actually really enjoy now. Not great at them, but, she always encourages us to do those kinds of things because she's really great at them. At them. So,
bring your friends along, right?
Yeah, exactly. She falls, we all fall on the porta pit.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I think little stuff like that and more pertaining to stunts too, because she is so good at doing like the high falls and the cool little tricky stuff. So that stuff's kind of fun because, of course I'm like more of a daredevil, which is probably why we ride motorcycles. You have to be like a little crazy.
For sure.
So of course when she's like, come like try doing a high fall, it's kind of like, well, this is scary, but like I'll do it, So yeah, like the little stuff like that kind of makes you like a better overall stunt person too.
Okay.
I definitely have to say Taylor's helped us a lot with that. So yeah, the odds and ends like high falls and fighting, little stuff like that, hand loop stuff.
Sure.
That stuff's super fun to learn.
Yeah.
So.
When you say high fall, just for the viewer, we're not talking like jumping off of a diving board or something.
Right.
We're talking quite high, right? I mean, what's the highest high fall you've done now?
Well, the highest for me was probably, I think it was like 18 feet, which is not really high in like the high fall world.
Yeah,
like
but
the stunt world.
If you tell a normal person you jumped off something 18 feet high on purpose,
right,
and you can land there safely,
right?
Like that's not normal.
Right. But that's why they hire us crazy people to do it correctly. But yeah, you're right. That would sound a little crazy to do these things on purpose. Just like, when they say you need to crash the motorcycle in front of thousands of people, but you have to do it on purpose. If you would have told me that, I don't know, 10 years ago, I would have just started laughing, It's like, well, you could do that correctly, It's crazy. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I've asked all you these questions, and I have a few more, but I want to give you an opportunity if you want. Because there's two things that I want to ask. One is, I'm curious, because we talk quite a bit. I talk to everybody on tour, but you and I have had more than a couple conversations.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity now. Have you ever wanted to ask me something and never gotten the chance?
Ooh. This is one I should have thought of before you asked me. Because I could have come up with something good.
This is why I always put you on the spot.
Okay.
It also forces you to just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, actually, I've always wondered that, right?
I know. It would probably be definitely like who... Okay, well, let me think about this one. How do I say it? I gotta ask a good one. So
we can edit all the layout, so it's okay.
I guess like what's the hardest group, or a sport that you have to work with? Like is it harder to work with like basketball players or like gymnasts? Like who are like the biggest princesses?
So that was what I was gonna ask. Like more work or more diva, right?
Yeah. Like who's more?
In my experience, I guess the assumption is that like professional athletes are very diva-ish, right?
Right.
Which can be true. I think that's. But in fairness, like that can be true of high school students as well, right?
Right,
like
exactly.
Amateurs, right? They're like, oh, I gotta have this and this and this or whatever.
Right.
So in my experience, I worked with many professional athletes, and in my experience, most of them are pretty level-headed, right? I worked with pro surfers. They're like probably the most chill, relaxed, laid-back professional athletes on the planet. I mean,
which I would assume,
day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Professional basketball players, soccer players, golfers—they're all when you get a chance to work with them one-on-one, which is, in my experience, been pretty fortunate to do, there's no cameras around. There's no one to impress. They don't and you're talking to another guy or another girl, right? So that's the stereotype. But honestly, like I genuinely believe like the people that can be the most diva-ish are usually the people that don't actually merit the attention. Which sounds really bad, but man, you think all these people are, he or she needs so much attention, like, but they're gonna sit on the bench the whole game,
right.
You know what I mean? You're not even actually getting in the show, but we're doing all this work for you,
right?
To what end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna dime anybody out there, but you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at. For that, so.
Okay. I know that's like not even like a positive question to ask you, but I have to.
I think it's a genuine curiosity.
I just want to know,
And in fairness, the viewer may think the same thing. Right? Wondering that. Yeah. So I watch, and it was introduced many years ago to a TV show called Inside the Actors Studio. Are you familiar with this show?
You told me a little bit about it.
Yeah. But so there's a series of questions that he always asks at the very end, and I'd like to adapt them here, right, and kind of just go through it. So I don't necessarily need a huge explanation, but I'm just curious, so we just kind of pepper these at you, right?
Okay.
So tell me, what's your favorite word?
Gnarly.
Gnarly. That's good. What's your least favorite word?
I have to say probably the word like, and it sounds kind of weird, but I have a bad habit of saying like this, like that, and then somebody brought that to my attention, and ever since then I've always tried to not say it. So now when I hear other people saying it, I'm like, they said like 20 times in one sentence. Which I probably did too.
That's okay.
But it's not a fun answer, but.
Yeah, fair enough. What turns you on?
I mean, I have to say motorcycles, because, I mean, if there's a motorcycle on the TV, I'm just like, I'm just staring at it. Yeah, like I love motorcycles.
Yeah, absolutely. So then what turns you off?
Ooh, that's a good one. I keep thinking of like a sport or something, but I feel like I don't know, horseback riding and stuff. Like anytime somebody wants to talk about like horses, I don't know. It's kind of I'm just like
not so much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just what comes to mind right now.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this anyway, regardless of the rating of this YouTube channel or podcast. But what's your favorite curse word?
I'm sorry, Mom, but I say the F word. It kind of comes flying out more often than I would like. I'm sure it's a common response.
That's your favorite.
But there's just so many, like, sometimes it's so satisfying when you say it, even if you like really try not
quite
to say it.
Quite versatile as well. Yeah.
I hate to say that. It's like my favorite curse word, but
fair enough.
It's bad,
That's good. What sound or noise do you love?
This is so. I love dogs, so I'd have to say anything with like a dog.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know, dog barking, but not the annoying bark. I don't know. I just love dogs, like the really cute little. Ones. Yeah, no, or like even just. This is gonna sound so weird, but yeah, anything with a dog, I think they're so cute.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Probably my phone alarm going off in the morning.
You hate it.
I hate it, yeah. Because then you hear it randomly, and you're just like, that means you have to get up
really
early
funny.
Or something.
I once heard that it would be funny to set your ringtone as someone's alarm, and imagine the cringe, right? Whenever that went off.
Just watch them.
Yeah.
Something about it.
Nice. What profession, other than your own, would you most like to attempt?
Profession. Try to think of one. I keep just relating it to sports, but I think of like a profession as like maybe being like a professional gymnast.
Okay. because,
and I don't know why I'm just thinking about it right now. because I feel like I always like I'm trying to stretch and like move like them, but I'll never be able to do that.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, yeah. Anything else like being a dentist or like a lawyer, like a legit profession, this doesn't sound appealing to me.
Oh, well, that was a follow-up question. What profession would you not like to do?
Dentist.
Dentist? No.
No.
Hard pass.
Hard pass on being a dentist, yeah.
That's awesome. So then, whether you believe in it or not, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done, Brittany. Yeah,
that's a
well
great.
Done.
Yeah, that's a
great job.
answer.
You did everything you wanted to do in life. Great job.
Cool. And then the last question I would ask is more for my records and everything else. If this were to be the very last time that we were to speak, what would you tell me?
I would definitely say thank you, and nice knowing you.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I would just say thank you for everything that you do and the positivity that you bring to everybody. And I think that's really nice to have somebody that you know that's just so like upbeat and positive. And I don't know, sometimes it's kind of rare these days. So yeah, I would definitely just say thank you. And I hope that it wouldn't be the last time that I saw you.
Sure. Yeah. Never. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find that you always think, oh man, I wish I would have said this or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And usually it's there's a sad association with that, right? But more often than not, given the opportunity to in advance, like, hey, I should have told you, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's like something negative, like, I should have told you I freaking hate your haircut or whatever, right? Like, that's gonna drive me crazy or whatever. Yeah. More often than not, like, though, you think like, oh, the last thing I ever said to somebody, usually be something very positive, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'll probably think of something better too after I'm done talking to you.
So it always works. It always works that way.
Thank you would be number one for sure.
Good. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure.
It will enlightening, educational to say the least.
Good.
And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Thanks, Jay.
Cool. All right, guys. That's it.